this works.
All right, so it's day one of the tree clearing project. Opened up the shop, grabbed my chainsaw, and headed out feeling pretty motivated. We had some downed trees from recent storms that needed to be taken care of. What's going on, diligent people? Today I'm going to be working on some of these trees that were knocked down. Talked about this maybe a few videos ago. It's probably going to take me a couple days to do it. I don't really want to knock it all out in one day, and to be honest, it's so many trees that I'm not going to be able to knock it out in one day. So over the next course of the couple of days, you can join me as I cut these trees down. Well, turns out motivation isn't everything. After about 10, maybe 20 pulls on the starter cord, nothing. After yesterday's chainsaw disaster, I figured I'd reset the right way, with a good breakfast. If there's one thing I've learned about homesteading, it's that you can't tackle big projects on an empty stomach. So this is about dealing with setbacks. You know, outdoor work doesn't really go as planned. Many times you'll run into many obstacles and hurdles, but you just kind of got to roll with the punches and figure out how to solve problems as you go. Today, I've got a couple things I'm going to do today. I'm going to start my day off with working out, a little bit of animal care, and then also I'm going to start working on those trees that fell down. As you know, my chainsaw doesn't work, but I have a smaller chainsaw that's used for cutting limbs. So I figure I might as well work on what I can work on right now, and then when I get a bigger chainsaw, then I'll knock out the rest of it. Once I was fueled up, it was time to feed our sheep and chickens. If we feed the chickens, they'll feed us. With everyone fed and settled, I decided to take another crack at those down trees. This time with my pole saw. It's not as powerful as the chainsaw, but for cutting limbs and smaller branches, it works great. Honestly, using the pole saw felt pretty satisfying. There's something about seeing progress after dealing with the setbacks that makes you appreciate the small wins. Even though I couldn't tackle the big trunks yet, at least the branches were handled. Finally, some good news. After some tweaking and a whole lot of wishful thinking, the chainsaw decided to cooperate. I wasted no time and got straight to cutting the tree trunks. It felt so satisfying after the first day of struggle. I still use the pole saw for the branches. It's lighter, easier on my back, and honestly more precise for the smaller stuff. The combination of both tools made a huge difference. Not gonna lie, it felt good to make real progress. There's something super satisfying about cutting through a thick tree trunk. It's tough, but every cut feels like progress. It was so nice to finally be on the right side of this project. All right, guys, so just got through cutting down that one tree. So I got three more trees to go. You know, you might ask the question, well, Lewis, why don't you just pay somebody to cut the trees? I'm glad you asked. So my wife got a couple of quotes, and I think those quotes were almost around $1,000, I want to say, per tree. So I said to myself, no, I'll just do it on my own, honestly. I figure if I put in about 2-3 hours per day, in the course of maybe a week, I could be done, hopefully. Not my favorite thing to do, but it definitely saves money, you know, and in this economy, I want to save as much money as I can. So, that being said, Got 3 more trees to knock out. Let's go ahead and do it. So just like with the last tree, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my pole saw at first. I find that it's easier to use a pole saw at first to cut the limbs off, and then use the bigger chainsaw to actually cut the trunk of the tree. And plus the pole saw for me is actually it's a little bit easier to use. That being said, let's dive in. I don't like cutting trees, but keeping the land clear is just part of the job. Sometimes you gotta do the things you don't love to keep everything running smoothly. Looking back, this was one of those projects where nothing went according to plan, but that's homesteading for you. Some days you're making progress, other days you're fighting stubborn tools. Here's a thought that I reflected on after this small setback. I think setbacks are necessary in our lives because without setbacks, it's very hard to grow. But I think that setbacks, if they're handled correctly, can help you grow in many different areas of your life. If you like what you saw today, subscribe and tap that notification bell. Until next time, stay diligent.
Want more? Watch one of these videos next. Don't forget to subscribe to stay updated.